Hey, this is Emily Bowen-Moore. This is for Journalism 273 in the Meek School of Journalism and New Media at the University of Mississippi. And this video tutorial is for Adobe Illustrator, and we are going to recreate the University of Mississippi Lyceum logo. And this is my way of strategically creating this graphic in the most efficient way that I know. So I just want to show you for practice. So this utilizes a lot of the really strong tools that Illustrator has to offer. I'm going to go from start to finish here. And the first thing we want to do is create a new document, and this can just be a letter size document. It's probably already going to be set up for CMYK color and for print. And if you're in my class, you will always want to have consistent labeling on your file. So last name underscore, and I'm just going to put Illustrator Practice. And it's portrait orientation, it's letter size, it's set up in points because of my offset path that I'm going to create later. You'll see what that is later. And I'm going to just create this. And some of you may have your unit set up in points already. And if you don't, that's okay. You can set it up here in your Illustrator preferences. You can go to units in general and just select points. A lot of times I work in inches, but for this exercise, points, it's very helpful. Okay, so we have our document, and I've also gone on the web and just picked up a very low quality picture of the Lyceum logo. We just need it as a reference to draw on top of to see the angles and the shapes. So I'm just going, for Illustrator, it's okay to just click and drag it into your document. InDesign, you want to place and embed those images. But for this, it's perfectly fine. So I'm going to put it in place, and you can see it's pixelated if I enlarge it here. That's okay. We just need to see an edge here to get our shape situated. And we're not even going to worry about the type. I just want to recreate this Lyceum graphic and this overall shape behind it. So it automatically puts it in a layer. And I want to do a couple of things here. We just need it as a reference, so I definitely want to lock it. So I'm going to go in this blank spot over here and click to lock this layer. This allows us to draw on top of it without moving it or having to interfere with the placement of it. And I also want to dim it so that it's there, but we can see our drawing on top of it easily. So I'm going to go over to the blank space in the layer and double click. And I'm going to go ahead and call this the background. It's a very good habit to name your layers, especially in Photoshop. And I'm also, it has a little box here to dim the image. And I'm going to just dim it halfway, so to 50%. So I'm going to click OK. And you can see that now I have a dim version of the logo sitting here. And because it's locked, it's not letting me do anything. I can't move it. I can't access it in any way. So my drawing that I want to put over this, I want to set up in a new layer. So I'm going to click Layer for Layer 2, and I'm going to put Lyceum Graphic here. And this will already have set up an automatic fill and stroke up here. I don't really want a stroke added to this or an outline, so I'm just going to click to have no stroke assigned. We'll use red and white here, but I'm just going to leave it alone because we really don't care about the color until later. We can fill that in. So I really, initially for me, I like to work in outline mode. This allows me to see what I'm drawing just in an outline. So to get to outline mode for that layer, you can click your command key and click the eye toggle, and you will see that the eye hollows out. So now everything I draw on top of here, all my shapes will be just outlines. Even though there's a white fill assigned to them, I can't see the white fill when it's in outline mode. All right, so our main tools that we will use, we'll use our regular selection tool, we'll use our direct selection tool, we'll use our shape tool, in this case the rounded rectangle first. And our shape builder tool, we have this tool in Illustrator, and it is a valuable asset to when you're trying to actually draw graphics, or any object that is a vector. So the first thing I'm going to do is I want to create this background, and believe it or not, the rounded rectangle tool is the best thing for that. So in Illustrator, it'll let you know where the center is. So I'm going to scroll around until I find the center of this. And I'm going to hold down the Option key in Illustrator. That lets us expand our shape from the center instead of the corner. And I'm just going to make sure the top and bottom line up with the edges, the top and bottom edges here. And then I'm going to let go. And I'm going to go ahead and get this down here. And if it doesn't want to snap to the edge very well, just zoom in and you can get it more precise. Now what I love about shape building in Illustrator is they also offer these little circles inside your bounding box, and that allows you to soften and sharpen your curves or corners. So this will soften the corners here to create an oval, or if I expand it the other way, it will eventually be a square or a rectangle. So I'm going to pull it in because I want this oval shape. And pretty much at its maximum point, it's going to work with what I need there. So that takes care of the outside. So if I look at that, you can kind of see the black outline here where it's on top. So now I basically want to create another one of these. So I'm just going to keep expanding. I'm going to create one for this edge and one for this edge. So repeating the process 2 more times. Just applying it to a different edge here. Oops. We want to go to the edge of the white this time, or just inside the one we just created. I've got the right and left side pretty much lined up. So once you have all 4 of your sides kind of lined up, oops, I need to be back here. There we go. So now we can pull the corners in and get our oval. So now we've got another stripe, and we've got one more. So I'm going to click off that object and do one more. Now I'm going to this inside where the red is. Oops. If you let go of your Option key first, it'll jump. So always let go of the mouse first. There we go. Line up this inside, top. Now we can pull our corners in all the way here. So now we have, if we click off, go back to our selection tool, if we click off, we have this outside, we have a little bit inside, and we have this further third that would represent the shape of the red background here. So now we want to create and get these situated before we start drawing the Lyceum. So I'm going to select all 3 of these that we just created. And you can either click and drag over all 3, or you can select each one as you're holding down the Shift key. So if I hold down the Shift key, I can select that outer one, the middle, and the inside. So I've got all 3 selected here. So now what I'm going to do is go to my Shape Builder tool, and what this is going to allow us to do is delete this shape right here in the middle, the stripe. What Shape Builder allows you to do is it breaks those layers up where you've built those shapes on top of one another, whatever individual shapes those have created in the overlapping, it breaks them up into individual shapes. So right now I have a plus sign by my cursor. So in the Shape Builder tool, after I've selected my objects and I went to the Shape Builder tool, you'll see it'll start graying out in those areas so you can see what you're working with. So I could color these in at this point. So I could actually go to the red color and click in those areas. Now we won't see it right now because we are in outline mode, but if we go over here, you can see outside of outline mode, I've got my fill in place, right? So, but on top of that, I want to take this section out. Right now we're in the adding mode. So if I were to click and drag over all these, it would unite them into one shape. But I don't want to do that. I want to get rid of this shape in the middle. So if you hold down your Option key while you're in your Shape Builder tool, it changes it to a minus. So if I go to that area and click on holding the Option key down, it actually takes that area out. I just deleted that. So now it's transparent here. And it seems white because we have an actual white sheet of paper. Okay, so now we're ready. I'm going to get out of my Shape Builder tool. Now we're ready to build our Lyceum. So I'm going to zoom in so we can get this triangular part here. And I'm going to go back to my shape tools. This time I'm going to use, you can use the polygon tool or the star tool, either one. Either one will allow you to go down to a shape that has 3 sides. So I'm just going to use the polygon tool. And I'm going to kind of go to the center of this as best I can. And again, the same kind of process. I'm going to go do the outer triangle. I'm going to do this inside and then this smaller triangle here in the middle. And I've also got a couple angles here, so I'll probably do a couple of small triangles where I can get this angle here on the corner. So I'm going to go here in the middle. And again, I'm going to hold my Option key down. And right now I've got 6 shapes to this polygon, and notice I have not let up on my trackpad or my mouse. So while I've got it expanded and I'm clicking and dragging, I'm going to go to my arrow keys and I'm going to click the down arrow key. And what that does is it reduces the amount of sides that you have. And I'm just going to get it as level as I can here. Let me expand here. Try and line it up with an edge. That'll help. There we go. Oops. There we go. So that time I did my Option Shift and it made it more symmetric. All right, so I need to expand this though a little differently. So I'm going to go to my Direct Select tool so I can work with these individual corners and get them to where I need them to be. And it's going to go outside of this edge a little bit. So just do the best you can. It's okay because we're going to cut this off eventually. Okay, so we can either do the small triangles here first, or we can do all of them at once. So I'm going to go ahead and do all of them. Now I could just select the one that I just created, hold down my Option key and duplicate, and then just make another one that's smaller. You do have your duplicate, same tool. Works in Illustrator for duplicating and moving at the same time. So I'm going to move this to the inside. I'm going to go back to my direct select tool because we do have different angles. So I need to pull this in here. Oops. Side. There we go. And I can do the same thing here. Option, duplicate, and move it to the inside. Go back to my direct select tool, click off, click back on. Okay, so now we have the 3 sections here, or 3 triangles that we made to recreate these layers. And then I'm going to go ahead and create a triangle here. And actually, I'm just going to do the same thing. I'm going to select this. And duplicate. And I'm going to hold down my Option Shift key when I expand it so that it is expanding more equally, and then you can adjust it to the corner here. So I've kind of met this angle here off, and I'm going to do just duplicate this for the other side. And you can use your direct select tool to adjust that. Or if that's difficult, you can select it, right click on it, and transform it. You can reflect it horizontally. There we go. So you just need to get this angle here. So now I have all these shapes layered on top of one another. Now we can select them all. So I'm going to hold down, or select one, hold down my Shift key, and select the outer circle, the middle, and the small circle, and then don't forget your other triangle on the other side. So I've now got both triangles on either side, the small ones, and then I've got all 3 triangles that I created for the top of the Lyceum. So now I have them all selected. I'm going to go back to my Shape Builder tool, and now you can see I've got all these sections broken up. So we want to delete this middle section where it's hollow. We want to see the red and make it transparent there. So I'm going to hold down my Option key while we are in the Shape Builder tool. So instead of duplicating and moving, it's going to take away parts of our shape since we're using a tool here. So I'm going to delete that. And then over here, we don't want these either. So I'm going to hold down my Option key again and just click and drag over both of them on both sides. So now we have these sections here. And if you want to create the little notch here, same thing, you're welcome to. I'm just going to leave it like this. This is simple enough. And now we're ready to go further. I'm going to go back to my regular rectangle tool. This one's a pretty simple adjustment here. So there we've got that. So with your columns, you just really have to create one and then duplicate them all and move them over. So I'm going to start here with a rectangle. And I'm going to go to my direct select tool to move these top corners in, and I can click off and click back on the corner. And you can either click and drag it to place, or you can just use your arrow keys. That also helps. So if I click on that corner and then use my arrow keys, you can get to a more minute dimension there. And I'm actually going to use an ellipse tool for the bottom here. So I'm going to hold that down. I'm going to go to my ellipse tool, and I'm just going to drag out. Oops, it does that when you drag too far. So I'm just going to line this up with these curves here. And again, if it wants to be kind of finicky, then you can zoom in a little bit and get more precise. So that looks pretty good right there. So just to handle the bottom part, I'm going to select both of these, holding my shift key. I'm going to go ahead and take away what I don't need here. Actually, I want to add them together first. So I want to add the column that I just made to the circle to add these little corners to it. So I'm going to just click and drag while it's in the plus sign. So now they're one piece. But I also want to cut off this bottom, so I'm just going to do that with the rectangle. Select that. Go back to my selection tool. I'm going to select that in my column. Go back to my shape builder, and now I'm going to delete these sections that I don't need. So now we have our base and our column. So now I want to recreate this top part here. So I'm going to go to my ellipse tool, and if you hold down your option key, you can expand from the middle. So I'm just going to do that. I'm going to pull this bottom down just a little bit. Not really satisfied with that. There we go. Okay, so I'm happy with that. I'm going to move and duplicate, move one to the other side. And I'm just going to use a rectangle to get this top part. I'm just going to start with the top middle of the circles, and it should line up pretty well there. Okay, so now I want to unite just those three shapes. I don't want to join it to the column yet. So I'm going to select the rectangle, and I'm going to hold down the shift key and select the circles on either side. Go back to my shape builder, and I'm just going to click and drag over just everything there. So now this top part of the column is one piece, and my other part is still coming up into this. We'll take care of that in a second. But I want to create my offset path, and what that does is that allows us to create this line that goes through here and turn it into negative space. And that just basically allows us, what it does is it outlines the shape and gives us an area here that we can delete. So I'm going to select this that we just created. I'm going to go to Object, and I'm going to go to Path, Offset Path. And this is where having your units and points is helpful. So right now it's 10 points, but I'm going to hit preview so we can see what we're creating here. So 8 points is really big. So if you have your units in inches, the jump is even bigger. It's really hard to get down to this minute of a line here. So by having it in points, we have a smaller unit to work with. So I'm going to select this number in my box, and I can click my arrow keys to go down, and you can kind of see how it starts to fit. So 3 points is a nice number here. It works well with the column and everything. So that looks good to me, so I'm just going to click OK. So now we have this offset path on the outside that's also now part of the shapes that we want to build here. So I could technically color this in a different color or take it out completely, and that's really what I want to do. So I'm going to select everything again. I'm going to select the middle part too now because it's a separate shape. And now I'm going to select my column because now it's work. Now I want to get everything situated at the top. So I'm going to grab my shape builder tool, and now we can see what we want to delete. We definitely don't want this, so I'm going to hold my Option key and delete that. And I want to delete all these sections on the outside as well. Oops, didn't do that. We just want to delete, or actually unite these. There we go. Unite that. Delete, delete. There we go. I don't know what happened, but I just made a little whoops. Okay, so now we have the top and we have our offset path here. So if we go over here in our layers and we were to look at this, let me select them so I can change the color to white. So if we go out of outline mode, you can see our column here that we just created. So now we can duplicate this one column across the whole thing. So it is in two parts, so I'm going to select them both. And Option key. And I'm just going to situate them. Well, something else that I want to do before we do that is select these both. We want to make sure the center of these are aligned. So I'm going to go over to my alignment tools. And I want to center these. So you can see a horizontal aligned center. And you can see, if you just noticed, when I hit that, you can see a slight jump. So if I zoom in and I hit that again, you can see that it centers itself. So now I can duplicate, it'll fit better with the other ones. So just keep duplicating. So now all of these are in place. And you can select them all and make sure they're lined up. And select the tops, don't forget about the tops. You could group those together too if you really wanted to. And if I want all of them to align horizontally with this first one right here, then I can do that. So we want them to align along the bottom. So now they've all bumped up to be level. Oops, yeah. I think I'm missing one over here. Was it there? Okay. Now I see the line now. I couldn't see it a second ago. Okay. So now we just need to do the very bottom. And these are easy. And I'm just going to duplicate this. And I'm going to get these little slivers of rectangles in place, and these are the easy ones to do. And just to make sure those are centered, I'm going to center it to that one. Okay, so now these are all, so we've got all our shapes in place here, so we should have a completed Lyceum. So I'm going to go outside of my outline mode. Oh, we have no fill. We filled these with red. That's why we don't see those, so let's fill those. Fill those with white. And evidently this shape was not filled with white either. Okay. So now you can fill your colors, select those objects, and make sure everything's filled. So now we have a replication of the Lyceum logo. So if we are under, the one underneath is, we don't even see anymore. So, and as long as you have everything even, I just want you to practice the tools, and these are great tools to use with creating any graphic or vector image. So thank you for listening, and I hope you enjoy.